You are now tuned in to Reckless Discussions. And just like that, welcome back to yet another Reckless Discussion with my crazy ass family. We're gonna get deep this episode.
We love deep. Not we love deep.
I mean,
not hold up.
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Why we can't get deep?
Okay.
Childhood trauma. I feel like this is a topic that's not really talked about because a lot of people sort of run from it, shy from it. You know, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, so childhood trauma, and it's a lot of factors to it. You know, you got mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect. You know, mental neglect. You know, and has anyone here been affected by any of that as a child? And I know that this is a very sensitive topic, so even if you want to hold some things back, because listen, everything does not have to be put out there, but we are definitely helping people, bringing awareness to things like that, where somebody may think that they're the only one that's still suffering from childhood trauma, because as an adult, it still stays with you. It still affects you even as an adult.
Oh, very much.
So
Jerome, what type of childhood trauma specifically, I guess, you probably think that impacted you?
Well, I don't think I know for a fact. I was 10 years old and I lost my mom. I found my mother dead at the age of 10. She was 26. And from that moment, when I found her, I knew that she was gone. So I knew that the paramedics couldn't come and take her and bring her back to life. Me seeing that affected me immediately. It has nothing to do with how my dad lived, how my stepmom lived. Who's going to take care of me like my mom? I wasn't thinking as a child, dang, it's going to affect my love life. I wasn't thinking of that. I'm thinking of survival. I know that I'm used to being the only child, getting my way, having food in the refrigerator, being able to go outside with your friends, getting to school on time, mommy always there.
Right.
I didn't like my father's household. So then taking a spoiled child from this environment and putting them in an environment where you have to share. You know, and I've never spoke about this part, but like, now I got to share a bed with my stepbrother, and you know, not to put his name, but you know, my stepbrother was a kid, he was peeing in the bed. So sometimes I wake up wet. Like all of that, you know, bottled up, it shaped me to be the person I am today. And I don't think that you could come back from that unless you take the specified steps on trying to become a better person mentally.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna elaborate a little bit further along, but I do want to hear Prince, because I do want to hear other people's story, because I always thought that I was the only person who went through childhood trauma.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna give the floor to Prince, or London. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, me personally, you know, I feel like I'm the poster child for childhood trauma. I have been through a lot of things as a child. I have been, you know, homeless on the street. I'm talking about in shelters. I've lived in other states in shelters. I've been adopted. I've lived in crack houses. I've experienced sexual abuse, you know, childhood trauma. And, you know, obviously it has an impact on your mental, but it depends on the type of person you are and how you take it. Is if you're gonna use it for benefit, or you're gonna use it to say, this what happened to me and now I blame everybody. Because I know people like that.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because out of everybody I know, all my friends and family, they come to me and they say I'm this strong person. And sometimes you're like, she went through so much, and but I go to her, she's a strong one. But I have family members, you know, my siblings, who I pray for them every day because they did not pick themselves up. But it has to be in you. Right. Because when you go through so much of childhood trauma, you have to face those problems on. And you have to say, this happens to me for me, unfortunately. Sometimes it takes a strong person to go through the battle, because nobody else could defeat it and teach other people from that. Some people, it will kill them. They will live their life for the rest of their life. I know right now, some of my siblings, possibly right now, they will live the rest of their life saying, this happened to me, and they were 10 or 12, and now they're in their 30s, and they're gonna always blame people. So they can never maintain relationships with their children, with adults, because they're gonna have a blame factor. Me, I say, this happened to me, but it showed me that faith is very important and strength is very important, because it allowed for me to say, if I went through that and God helped me down, I could get through literally anything. I don't even need money, none of that. I got my mind and my prayers.
And a lot of people aren't mentally strong like that. That's why I always tell you, like, you could be with all you went through, and some you're not even sharing. Like all you went through, you're just still you're like a superhero. You a great mom. You're a good cousin. Yeah. You're a great freaking COO to my CEO.
And I could have
you have a relationship with God. You know what I mean?
For you,
and you don't let it. You still have. You know, your ways, you know what I'm saying? And I know that it affects you in ways that, you know, as an adult still, it haunts you sometimes and you just...
And honestly, the biggest thing that I feel that I actually hate and I wish sometimes as a society we could stop doing is that people who experience childhood trauma, the way they deal with real life things as adults, even if they seem better, it stems from somewhere and it's triggers, like triggers, right? Like I could be in a relationship with somebody and they walk out the door. But if I was once in the system or left, you know, as child, like parentless, don't leave me because that issue is going to stem up from me saying how I felt as that little girl.
Abandonment.
You know? I got a lot to say about it, but
okay.
Damn, my hands all sweaty. Like
it be like that. We gotta get deep sometimes.
Okay. Well, it's all right.
I do have a childhood trauma, and I don't ever share this childhood trauma because I honestly feel like they think that this is every gay black man's childhood trauma, and this is the reason why they are what they are. As a child, of course, not of course, but as a child, I was molested by an older family member. Sidebar: I don't think that has anything to do with my sexual preference per se.
Okay.
But again, there are certain things within my sexual preference that I will not do because it ignites, it triggers the trauma that I went through.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I've never disclosed it to my family, never said anything to my family because my family was so small. And I never disclosed it even to my mother as a kid because I didn't want to break up the family chemistry of thinking that this is what the family is going to be watching, you know, the Huxtables and all of them. It's like, okay, family's supposed to do this. We small, we come around for holidays, and the crazy part is now my family's not even close at all. And it's like, damn, I wish I would have said that as a kid because it would have made me a better person. Like this has fucked me up
for so long,
extremely, because it drove me to the point of suicidal depression. It drove me to the point of, you know, I'm beyond that now, but I still suffer from depression because it's like, yo, you walk around, you got all this shit inside of you that you want to tell a motherfucker. But then you don't want to entrust a motherfucker to tell him because you don't know what their judgment's going to be towards you.
Use it against you.
You don't want to go and tell somebody that you think is going to help you, and then it's like they use it against you because people can be very manipulative. You know, you can entrust somebody with this information, and then they can know of how to use these things to get what they want from you. You know, so I just held it in.
So this would be
the premiere.
This would so this would be their first time even finding out.
And this plays a major part in why I don't go around my family. I'm not good at faking. I'm not good at being phony. So what I did was I divorced my own family. You know, I separated from them. And they always go, why you don't come around? Why you don't answer our phone calls? What we call? Why we don't do this? Why we don't do that? And I'm like, I was a fucking kid. I was innocent, an innocent kid. As adults around, you should have fucking known that something was going on.
So do you?
You know what I mean? Like you should, a parent, no, not a parent because I never disclosed it to my mother, but it was never, you know, but different situations in different places, you should have known, people should have known what the hell was going on.
Your emotions was off.
Yeah.
So they emotionally neglected.
I can go around my son right now and know if something's happening to my son. What's going on? Why you acting like this? Why is your mood changing?
Something going on.
Talk to me.
So emotional neglect.
Emotional neglect.
Neglected after being sexually abused.
And physical abuse.
Physical abuse as well.
And I don't blame my mom for none of this because my mother was a single black parent. She did what she had to do. She worked. She had relatives that she, you know, I would go to her house, I would do that she trusted with her. And for me, I didn't want to break my mother's heart. They're saying somebody that you trusted with me allowed this to happen to me. And then at the same time being groomed to think that this is what the fuck you supposed to do because I'm a kid. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like one of them wishy-washies. I thought that this was what you were supposed to be doing as a family member, and then it was like, I don't want to tell my mom what's going on because maybe if I tell my mom, this might break up the family. This might disappoint her, make her feel some type of way. Or knowing my mother, and you know my mother too, shorty crazy.
Yeah.
She been to kill somebody.
I mean,
and now my mother be in jail.
And now I'm father in a household
with
that
different
you didn't
people
want to be.
So is that
is
that person still here today?
Not on this earth?
Yeah, on
I
earth.
think alive.
Yeah. Knowing that this person is walking free, like me personally, never been through that type of trauma, but how do it make you feel as an individual, not just a man, knowing that, dang, yo, still
there was
walking.
no justice about that. It was nothing.
Because it ate you up for so long, you didn't want to talk about it, and it's stuff that I never want to talk about either. So today,
I honestly, how does it make me feel? I hate that nigga.
Right.
I'm sure.
Right.
Even to the point of in the adulthood, I tried to surpass it and try to make things cordial, but it's like, you know what the fuck you did to me. I'm old enough now to know what the fuck you did to me and was doing for years consecutively. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And I don't use that term, but I fucking hate, like, I hate that nigga, man.
And so you will say that it definitely still affects you as an adult today.
Absolutely.
Oh,
anything, like, if I hear his name or something like that, it's just like, I immediately cringe. But I try not to do it. I try not to do it, like, to make somebody be like, oh, why you do that when I said this person? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yo, whatever, yo, like.
And it affects relationships? Does it affect how you are as, like, a dad? Like,
it does, because it makes me, like, become protective, like, what's going on, who you're around, and even more so now with social media, like what you watching on social media. I don't want you to think that to learn something, then you go and think that this is okay. Nah, like, what's going on? Like, so it has made me like a more proactive and protective type of parent to know what more so is going on, and again, identifying mood changes when I am around my son. Like, why you acting like this? What's going on? I call you on FaceTime, you sad, why you sad? Or you had a bad day in school, why you had a bad day in school? Why you talk back to the teacher? What's going on?
Because
those type
you
I don't want to hear.
I don't know. I don't want to hear that.
What were you saying, babe?
No, I was going to speak because I do have a theory, but that's for another time. Now my thought changed on that, but I did experience that as well. I was probably, so long story short, my siblings we stay in steps. So 3, I'm 4, my sister, oldest to 5. 3, 4, 5. And we had a babysitter, a nice young little shorty girl, chilling. She used to watch us. And she used to, I'm not going to say what she did, but she used to sexually abuse us, take us upstairs one by one. And I remember that. And I'm 4 years old. And she always used to say, that's why threats are real to little kids. Like, even though we think our kids are so mentally strong sometimes they won't tell you. We had 3 little girls, and a teenage girl, and none of us said anything. Surprisingly, my little sister, the 3-year-old, told my mother some type of way. The girl who was doing it was probably like 17 years old. She ended up slitting her wrist, trying to kill herself over the situation. So, and it went on, and she used to, tell us, like, you better tell your mother. So, I mean, and in my adulthood, I don't know. I can't say that I'm affected by it. Yeah. But it's some weird way I've seen people who went through sexual traumas when they get older have like sexual fantasies a little bit when they get older.
Absolutely.
It's like I don't know. I'm not gonna say with children, but they are.
But sometimes
like it'd be like
it's that way.
Yeah,
or
it's
sometimes
weird, like,
it's with whoever. That we even watch people in the public eye.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I noticed.
Like R. Kelly. Exactly. R. Kelly. You see what he grew up and did. But
I wonder what that comes from.
But in his documentary, we learned that he was molested by his sister. He and his brother.
Yeah, and it's like
molested
when you get older,
his sister, family members. Yes. You know what I mean? And you get older, and you would think that you wouldn't. You would think a certain way, but you would think that they would not want to fucking be a part of that or do something to hurt somebody the way that they were hurt. Yeah. But it can twist you up mentally depending on who you are.
And
depending on how long it happened.
Thought about how did that, like, that's always the story you hear. They was molested as a child and they ended up having sexual urgencies that were a little different than a normal person.
And I speak on that topic a lot. That childhood trauma that I faced actually did affect me as an adult. Okay. And it affected the way that, sometimes I view women. It affected the way how I treat them. It affected the way that, me in a relationship with any of my children's moms. Yeah. Not speaking on just me finding my mother dead, but me seeing what my dad was doing to women, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So all of that bottled up and was like, damn, well, shit, my father never taught me how to really love. I knew that I didn't want to disrespect the woman, but me being taught, I'm like, oh damn, this is cool. This is, dude, you know, date multiple women, like never commit to just one. If you do, like just keep her happy. And I grew up to see that that was cool. And every man around me growing up was the same way. So, you know, I tend to take on certain actions that they acted on. But do I say it wasn't good? No. Can I say that it played a part? Yes. Do I make excuses? No, but I am also fond of that, yo, I was fucked up as a child mentally.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, you know, so it is what it is.
Because like losing your mother, that's like blow.
Yeah, and it was so more after.
Being raised without her and watching other children enjoy their moms, that had to have had an effect on you. And like you said, you came from like really
the
nice,
luxury,
you know, and then you went to like
the slumps.
Like,
the fact that it can affect you as an adult.
Oh yes, definitely.
What are some things that you can do to help that? I would say therapy would be one.
Seek therapy, but before seeking therapy, you have to acknowledge that I need help.
Okay.
Because if you go see a therapist, but you don't acknowledge the fact that you need it, it's not going to work.
A lot of black men feel like they don't need therapy. Have you ever been?
I tried therapy before, and see the thing about therapy is you have to be ready to accept the therapist, because the therapist is going to, like, in a sense, like agitate you to see what you're breaking.
Diagnostic test.
And I didn't understand that. Like it was just like I felt as though the questions that the therapist was asking me early on was just like, what do you mean? Like almost in a sense trying to make it feel like it was my fault that it was happening. So you were
offended. It could have just been the way. They never want to irritate you. That's what they,
well, you know, lack of vocabulary.
I get you. No. If you felt irritated, then that means you're not ready to face it yet.
Right.
But their agenda is never to do that, though. You know.
Or it could be that you just haven't found the personality type for your circumstance, right? You feel like barbers, right? That man will cut your hair, you know, I can't do him. I'm going to the next person.
Yeah,
so
if
sometimes
you're a
you
barber.
gotta find, you gotta feel the energy, the vibe. You're telling you exposing yourself to somebody who don't even know you.
A complete stranger. Do you guys feel that a therapist should always be the race that you are? Like black people only need black therapists so they can resonate with you?
Yes.
I don't.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. You don't think so?
No,
I don't think so.
Coming from,
either.
I'm saying yes, coming from a social working world, you know, something that I study.
Okay.
Black social workers can relate to you more. So
I understand.
We face a lot. A lot of our black social workers, they face a lot. They see social workers as well.
Right.
So, you know, they see therapists as well, I'm sorry. So I believe that with the childhood trauma and adult trauma, whatever we may be going through, that black social worker can confide in you and give you the accurate advice that you should take without being biased or without being judgmental.
About therapy too, like, and you said something that just always stuck out for a red flag for me.
What?
They go through shit too.
Yeah.
So what the fuck can you tell me about what I'm going through? Like you perfect Patty or perfect Patrick.
You're not there for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're there for you. Say if a therapist was fucked up as a kid, you know what I'm saying, and they found a ways to overcome certain shit. Like for instance, that one sitting right there overcame a lot of shit that affects her, but she's gotten her way through a lot of it, and it's made her who she is today, which is a damn good fucking person. Like one of my favorite people in my life. You know what I mean? Like she helps me get through shit.
We all need therapy to someone else.
Yeah.
I can assess you. I just can't assess myself.
There you go.
I always tell myself that. I'm like, sometimes I come off.
What, that you're Janet?
No, sometimes I come off very like, I want to have everything so right and precise. But the life that I have had, I could never rely on somebody. Like ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never had nobody that I could rely on. So I always had to be mentally strong for myself, because for some reason God made me mentally strong. Thank God. So I'm like, okay, so this gotta be right, because who am I fall on if this go wrong?
Before we get out of here, we're gonna drop a gem.
Oh, I like this part. All right, so look, check this out, right? Mental health is real.
Yes.
Childhood trauma is real. If you're ever going through something, man, no matter what you've been through as a child, as adults, or even as children that may be watching this and may, sneaking to watch it because you're not supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But tell somebody what's going on. Get some help. As an adult, talk to somebody. Don't take it into your own hands. Because your own hands not going to be the right hands because you're not thinking correctly.
Yeah.
So get help, seek help.
And it's not your fault.
And it's not your person. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself.
Yeah.
Don't blame yourself.
Definitely.
That's it.
I'll say sometimes your pain is your strength. What you went through, it may have hurt, but that's when you got your strength from to fight on and, you know, to fight for somebody else who possibly could have went through the same thing.
My gem to drop is, if you got parents that had divorced or whatever, and you grew up as the Huxtable, but then you find out that you grew up and you was some other shit, go back and ask your motherfucking mother and them, why the fuck y'all lie?
Right.
Free.
Yeah.
You got something?
My gem would be, like, on a serious note, my gem is to men.
He didn't even say it yet.
Because this, y'all, if you listen, how am I supposed to come back from what the fuck you just said?
You can't.
Check this out. My gem to the men out there, man. I'm gonna speak on to men. Man, get help. I know sometimes a power struggle, you feel like you don't want to, but in due time, it will help you. It will help you be a better man.
Yeah.
Help you be a better person. Get help. Get help.
Oh, what the fuck
Just
was
like
this?
that.
Yeah,
I'm watching you.
He's in another world.
I'm watching y'all.
Thank y'all.
I'm
Just like
I'm
that.
hypnotized like Akon right now.
This is over. I appreciate everybody for watching. And I just cried on the couch, bitch. I cried.
Your knees don't
This
hurt
was
though?
for real.
She
My
did
knees don't
say
hurt,
you
but
was
these
Mary
goddamn
J.
bangers killing me. So tune in next week,
killing me.
every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Reckless discussions with my crazy ass family. Oh my God.
I cried.
Crazy.